Hi Gershom, so hi Gershom, so I haven't made a vlog to you in quite a while, like a couple of weeks I think, and I'm not happy with that. Like I wanna be making vlogs to you more frequently. So it's just been so hectic recently. Just a breakdown of what's been going on recently. So I had a couple of days off. I was intending to film a vlog for you then. I think that was about a week ago, maybe no, like it might be 2 weeks ago now. But I was so ill. Like I think I messaged you saying I was ill, and you said to film, but I was sleeping till 6 p.m. 2 days in a row. And it just, oh my god, like it was awful. It was a really awful couple of days. And then I had work for 7 days, so I was ill Thursday, Friday, went to work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I was just coming home from work and going to bed and sleeping straight away pretty much. Even if I finished at 4 o'clock, which is like I either work 8 till 4 or 12 till 8, and so even if I was finishing at 4 o'clock, I was coming home and having like a 3-hour nap and then waking up at like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Feeling really lethargic for a couple of hours and then going to sleep. It was really bizarre. So, yeah, and then the weekend rolled round and I went to London with Lucas, which, this kind of stuff happened.
I'm crying. Oh, I need to see the rest. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh, good stuff. I think I need my inhaler in a second.
And then Sunday, I ended up playing D&D with my housemates. So yeah, just been really hectic, really busy. Haven't had the opportunity to just sit down and film. Like I know I've been going out and filming stuff for the weekly vlog, but it's kind of like those are like 2 or 3 second clips, and this is like a more of a planned thing. So yeah, I haven't had a chance to just sit down and go through this stuff. And actually, right now, I've got 20 minutes before I have to get ready for work, and then I'm going to work. But I'll be filming the rest of this later this evening, so it's all good. I'm just gonna have a quick response to your videos. I think I'm not gonna try and make it too long because I know that my videos kind of drag out a bit. So yeah, I have to say I love your shooting style. I love the music you're using, and like I think production value has gone up quite a bit in terms of our videos, which is really good. That's what gets people interested, I think. So yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying about play. I think that play is something that isn't exclusive for children. I think that adults should engage in play a lot more, whether that's free running, like I don't like this concept of like sport being serious or whatever, like free running and stuff. Like people take it so seriously, but it is playing. You're like climbing on things. You're trying to move in a different way. You're practicing stuff. You're trying new things, and that's what playing is about. Is it's a enjoyable way of discovering your environment, discovering new things, trying to think in a different person's mind. And actually, in mental health, I think that drama therapy is underrated in that sense. Drama therapy is used a lot to help people get back into kind of like what in a normal situation, what would they do, and try and do that. And I think that is a form of play. You're playing a part. You're interacting in a different way. You're acting, and it's a lot of what you're role playing. And you see kids doing that. That is part of their play. They're pretending to be Jedis. They're pretending to be princesses. They're pretending to be, like cooks and sometimes animals, like dogs. I used to pretend to be a dog, and that's the same concept as an adult trying to be someone else in the same situation that they find themselves in when they're feeling adverse to it, if that makes sense. I definitely want to read the books that you suggested, Homo Ludens and Flow. They both look really kind of interesting. At the moment I'm reading this book. It's by Darren Brown, of course, because, you know, he's my favourite person in the world. It's called Happy, and it's basically about, like, we have a distorted view of what happiness is, what happiness should be, and we should be trying to kind of like reach this other form of happiness where it's like, so the subtitle is why more or less everything is absolutely fine, and that's basically the concept, is that if you're always trying to strive for this goal of being happy, you'll never reach it because you're not enjoying what's around you. You're not focusing on that stuff. So he talks about goal setting. I've only read the first part, so I don't know what the rest of the book is going to say, but like, so he talks about goal setting, and he talks about how it's actually detrimental, because sometimes you can have a goal that's so far in the future, you're focusing so much of your time on reaching that goal that you don't actually focus on what's happening now. Like, and he uses careers and like degrees and stuff as a really good example, and I've certainly felt this with my degree and my masters, that I was focusing on something so far in the distance that I lost connection with some friends, especially during my masters. So I think he has a good point there. He talks about faith healing, of course, which is his kind of like specialty at the moment. It's what his show Miracle, which I was featured in, actually was all about. So yeah, it's very interesting. I'll continue reading it and I'll let you know what more he says. I think the whole premise, like the idea, is that we have stuff that's in our control, that we should control to the best of our abilities, like when we wake up, what we eat, all that stuff, to make ourselves have the best possible situation. But anything outside of our control we shouldn't worry too much about, because it's not ours. If someone like, if we're late for work because there's traffic in the way, that's not our fault, it's out of our control, you know. So we shouldn't panic, we shouldn't worry, we shouldn't stress, we shouldn't, you know, have all these things. So yeah. So one of the things that's happened recently, like last couple of days, okay, and it happened on Mental Health Day actually, which is like one of the bizarre things, is that I found out that Parthenex, who is my bearded dragon, which you know, who I've had for 3 years, turned out to be a girl bearded dragon. And I'm sure you saw this on Facebook because I was so shocked. But she laid eggs. She laid eggs. She laid the first clutch of eggs. It doesn't appear like any of them are fertile. Like, there's no way that they could be, really. I don't really know what to do with them now, to be fair. Like, so the reason that I bring up the fact that it was on Mental Health Day is because I think people find it hard to sympathise with people that have like psychotic experiences where they believe something that is clearly not true. But it's only in situations like this where I've believed for 3 years that the bearded dragon that I've had in that tank is a boy. I've treated it like a boy, and I shouldn't treat him any different, or her any differently now. Like, I don't really need to change pronouns. She's not aware of it, but you know. Anyway, when she laid that clutch of eggs, it really changed my entire opinion of what's happened. And I was like, for the last 3 years I've been believing this. How can this be true? And that is the experience that psychotic people go through whenever they get told that their delusions or their beliefs or their hallucinations aren't real. You know, someone can believe that they're doing something, or they've done something, and they believed it happened years ago. They get told that that didn't actually happen, and then they have to kind of learn to cope with that, learn to accept that, and it's really difficult. And this is only a minor thing really in comparison to the things that they experience, but it was a real eye-opener for me that, like, not everything I believe about the world is true. That it's my perception of the world. And maybe I've looked into it too deeply, but I think it was just the day that it fell on. I was like, wow, this is actually a really good timing for like some profound thought, you know? I enjoyed your salsa video. I was going to do the same thing. I made chili last night and I was just going to do the same thing. But the battery in my camera was dead, and also I had a guest coming over and I was running late, so I didn't have time to just film it and do it casually. I had to rush to make it. So I think that, you know, I've been wanting to film stuff I cook a lot more because I like cooking. I don't do it enough, and I usually only cook when I have a reason to, like someone else is there or something like that. So maybe you'll see a video soon of me doing some cooking. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully. So yeah, right. It's time for me to get ready for work, but I'm gonna film some more when I get back from work, which is 8 o'clock tonight, because it's like, it's 11 o'clock, so I need to get ready. Right, so finished that shift at work, and now I am home. Got wine gums, cheap wine gums, but they're wine gums nonetheless. The stuff I wanted to talk about. There was a couple of things. The first thing is Canterbury Cathedral. It's supposedly, I haven't actually witnessed this yet, but I'm imagining it's true because I don't see why people would lie about it, or like why it would be put in the news, because it was in the news. But basically, Canterbury Cathedral has now got armed police circulating it, right? Because there's a fear of terrorist attacks or something like that. There was a survey done, I think, that asked people whether they felt safer with these armed police operating around Canterbury Cathedral and various other places in the UK, and they said no, and I would agree with that. The majority of the people said no, and I don't feel any safer with people with guns walking around. Like this country, like I don't get this mentality when I walk to London, and there's a short clip I can play about this actually. I didn't get a really good shot because I wasn't sure how legal it was of me to be doing it, but I'm pretty sure it's legal. But we're in London and we were just going down South Bank, and there was 2 police officers with guns on them at South Bank, just randomly, and it's kind of like the number of armed police has increased massively in the UK. The amount of like weapons they have on them has also increased. I've noticed that more recently. Like 5 years ago, I'd say the police didn't have hardly anything on them, and now they have tasers and like spray and all this stuff. So just the level of armedness is increased, and that makes me feel uncomfortable because it allows more opportunity for abuse of power. I'm a police officer with a gun. Therefore, I can say what I want, do what I want, and you have to obey me. Otherwise, I'm going to point my gun at you. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to tase you. I'm going to spray you. All that stuff. And there's been this has been shown to happen at protests, university campuses and stuff, where police have been spraying people, who are just sat down doing nothing, just because.
This is peaceful, my God!
I don't feel safer. I don't feel it's necessary. If someone has a bomb, it's going to explode, regardless of if they shoot them or not. Like, it's stupid. I mean, I know recently there's been more attacks with guns, like Paris on November 13th. That was more of a gun attack, and I guess that armed response could have helped in that situation, but would the armed response been in the concert? No. These people aren't stupid. They're not going to attack places where there's armed police officers. They're going to attack places where there aren't armed police officers. So it just I don't know, it just pisses me off that we've reached this point where we're okay with our police having guns on the street, just on the street, not in an airport or outside Buckingham Palace or outside Downs Road, where there's like top priority things or whatever, okay, whatever. But on the normal street, down South Bank, Canterbury Cathedral, all this place, it's like, no, it doesn't make me feel comfortable. This isn't America. We don't have an army police. We have police who supposedly are just going to interact with you, and I mean, there's this great video that I watched not that long ago of UK police taking down a man with a machete, and there's about 12 of them, 12 or 13, and they have riot shields, and they go in, they restrain him, take the machete off him, and arrest him. That's how it should be done. We shouldn't worry about people being killed on our streets because someone fires a shot, or they think they see a gun and they fire a shot. In the last kind of like few months, America's been like, the stories have been coming out of people being shot and killed in America, and it's just not on. And I don't want that in the UK. I don't want people, like, you know, it'll be, I would hazard a guess 3 months tops before there's an accidental shooting of someone who was innocent. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. The second thing I wanted to talk about is this killer clown craze. The second thing I wanted to talk about is this killer. The second thing I wanted to talk about is this killer clown craze. I haven't witnessed any of it. I haven't seen any clowns anywhere. I might go out tonight and just see if I can find one. Like, you know, apparently they're supposedly everywhere, but I just don't understand it. I just don't understand what's going on. It's just 2016 for you, isn't it? Really, you know, that this would only happen this year. Like, what's going on? Seriously. So I think it's ridiculous. I think the people that are doing it are you know, I mean, they're probably fine people, and they think it's funny, but I don't find it funny. I mean, I don't find it offensive. They're not breaking the law, but it's not an entertaining thing. I don't know why it's hit national news. I don't know. It's just one of them things that I'm not bothered by it, and it's just, I think someone's going to get hurt, and when that happens, it's going to be very disappointing. It's going to be sad. You know, someone's going to get hurt or killed or something like that, and it's, you know, just because of like a little prank. You know, they're walking around with knives. They're like going to people's outdoors and stuff like that, and like approaching people in parks. You know, they're approaching people, like the clowns are approaching people that they don't know. You know, that in itself, like, they could easily get hurt themselves. Like, even if they don't have the intention of hurting anyone, they're scaring people to the point where, you know, they could get hurt themselves, and it's just going to end badly for someone. And I don't want that to happen, especially not around here. I mean, University of Kent, there was a guy that was chased on his bike by 4 people wearing clown masks in a car. And it's just fucking ridiculous, you know. So yeah, I'm not impressed by this. I don't know what else to say about it, really. So what are your thoughts on the guns being used at Canterbury Cathedral and various other sites in the UK, and just more armed units in general? And also, what's your thoughts on the killer clown craze that's happening across the world at the moment? So yeah, so I'm really sorry it's been like a massive gap between the last video and this video. As I said earlier, I've been really busy and ill and all this stuff. It won't happen again. I feel like I'm making excuses, but no, it's genuine, you know. But like, I genuinely have time now in the future to be able to make these videos. I can plan them and all that stuff. So yeah, just ignore this. This is an anomaly, okay? So yeah. But as always, it's been a pleasure, Gersom, and I will catch you soon. Bye.